So in this video, we're going to build a custom image app using Google AI Studio, and I'm going to show you exactly how I made this hideous thumbnail that you can see in front of you right now. I'm going to walk you through it, and then I'm going to walk Callum through it as well, and then Callum is going to create his own thumbnail using the app that we're going to build. That's the plan. So the first thing that you need to do is navigate to the Google AI Studio. And then what you want to do within the Google AI Studio is navigate straight to build, and you'll see this interface. And just like when you're in the ChatGPT interface or Gemini chat interface, all you need to do is add a prompt here to start building your app. And whilst I was testing and using this, what I noticed is that it's pretty incredible at filling in all the blanks. So you can be even relatively vague with what you want to do. The app is pretty capable of producing quite a user-friendly interface and product. Here's the prompt that I fashioned over the course of basically a couple of hours late in the morning. And through quite a few rounds of testing, I figured that it was best to split the prompt into a number of steps, especially when it comes to thumbnails, where thumbnails have a lot of different kind of layers or elements to them when you're building them out. And so this is what I came up with: build an app that will allow me to upload an image that will then be converted into a YouTube thumbnail over 5 steps. And after each step, a new version of the thumbnail is generated. And this is pretty critical just to make sure that I could kind of approve each step of the process as it went along. Then step 1, the user is asked to add a prompt to adapt the subject's gestures and facial expressions. So you go from like a static image with no expressions to something kind of wild and shocked, like in the standard thumbnail. Then the user is asked to add brand colors for the thumbnail. So this is primarily for the black background. Then step 3, the user is asked to add any instructions for graphic images in the background. Then step 4, the user is asked what text they would like to include on the image. And finally, step 5, they're asked what font and how large the text should be. Now, as we'll see, these steps 4 and 5 are where we're having the most issues, because the app and just the image generation in general with Banana seems to have issues with first accessing any kind of fonts, and secondly, placing and using text in the way that we'd like it to work. Maybe there's been an update, probably not. And then finally, when the thumbnail is delivered, then we have a final kind of review phase where we can try and make any final adaptations to get it exactly where we want it to be.
I'm excited to try this. I mean, having watched the case study or the use case video, I would, especially with steps 4 and 5, be really intrigued to see how it produces text.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's start. I mean, just to show you, to kind of prove that it works, I'm going to Slack you this prompt.
Okay.
And you can drop this into the AI Studio, and it should theoretically build something either identical or very, very similar to what it built for me.
Okay.
Except now I've corrected the typo, so maybe the text will start working.
It was the typo that was the issue all along.
And then I also shared the original image that I used. So like a super neutral image that we took here in the studio. And basically, the app turned that very neutral image into this very shocking and shocked image. Everything else that you can see on this image was AI generated, from the psychedelic swirls of brand colors that you can see to the silhouettes of flying furniture. I don't know why I came up with that.
This does scream 1 a.m. in the morning.
So yeah, maybe if you drop that into Google AI Studio,
okay.
And then you open up that menu on the top left.
Okay, right, so go down to build. I just paste it in here.
Yeah, and then you have to click the up arrow, and then it basically starts running it. That's going to take a little bit of time, so in true Blue Peter fashion, you can go over to this one that we made earlier and really just show how simple and how quick it is. So if I take that image, that nice neutral image that I mentioned, and we drop that in here, we can choose the expression. What expression would you like? Horror.
Why not?
Whoa. Okay.
Or shock.
Okay, I'll put in the subject is absolutely, I like horrified. Because the last one was shocked, I'm horrified it's going to be even more intense. Anything else with the arms?
We could have them up at the face. This kind of typical YouTube.
Hands up the mouth. I mean, that's pretty vague, but we could see what it comes up with there. And then we hit generate next.
Oh, well, that's
this
actually
is
not
pretty
bad.
horrified. It looks like I'm just like Michael Jordan's just throwing a basketball towards me or something.
It's also highly memeable.
Yeah.
Like I feel I could go
it's done its job. It's done its job already, basically. Okay, brand colors. So here you can basically choose a hex code. Let's do that, and white, checkered.
Oh God. I knew it was going to be like a
I'm not a
garish,
designer, so I'm just trying to make it as freaky as possible.
a garish pattern.
Let's see if it does it though. The suspense. Look at that. Almost right.
The pattern is, you can see some glitches in it, but
So we're getting there now. Background graphics. Add stylized YouTube play buttons within each of the blue squares.
really going to town on this.
Testing it as much as I possibly can. Look at that.
Interesting.
Okay, now we need overlay text. Mask, large, bold, text that reads, I don't believe it. Between. Okay, see if that works.
I mean, it's not wrong. It's just not right.
So this did actually work. So this is what I mean. This is the point where it starts really breaking down for whatever reason. Is trying to get the text, I guess, in the right position, right size. All those kinds of things are really hard to define. And then when you try and define font, it generally doesn't make any difference. It just sticks with the defaults. What I did manage with this one is obviously get it to kind of mask between the subject and the background.
Yeah.
So it did work in this case. In this case, obviously it hasn't.
I mean, did you specify the location? I don't think
No. I mean, here it says define text style, so this might be the point that we could define location.
Try like center bottom.
The center bottom.
I mean,
No, I've just completely derailed it. Move all the text, see if this works. And then we just go with the foreground and background. There we go.
it's responsive in that sense, yeah.
So that's basically the end of the process. You can see it kind of works and kind of doesn't work. I think there are parts of the process like having one subject with one very neutral expression and then being able to basically produce an infinite number of variations on that.
Yeah.
That's already a big added value, and maybe like being able to play around with the background to a certain extent. You'd have something that you could download and then use in Photoshop to add the text.
Yeah.
To go back to what you were mentioning in terms of the different elements, I was basically just looking at our thumbnails and trying to figure out your process of taking the subject first of all, and then obviously the majority of the backgrounds are quite branded. I was thinking about the graphic elements like this one up here where you have the graph, for example, and having that step in there that we could easily add something like that, or maybe like an image of Alex Hormozy like in this one.
It would be interesting to see how it would deal with something more complex design-wise, where there's like different elements or different like textures as well.
Okay, I've got a challenge that just came to me.
Okay.
My challenge is that you try and use the thumbnail creator to generate this one. Because it seems like it should be more or less possible. And I'll use the thumbnail generator to try and do maybe this one.
Okay, I'll try that. So, I mean, I need to go back into the studio. Okay, so it's now finished building. This must be the back end of the tool, right? I can just go in here and...
Yeah, exactly. That's
choose
what
an
you
image.
use.
Oh, so that's the image there. You can see the scan lines and stuff in the thumbnail. It's actually very nuanced. I'm just going to open this file just so I can get the... if I can find it.
Looking pleasantly surprised with my hands raised beside my head.
Can I just use your image rather than mine, because it's going to take too long to find? Okay. I feel like mine's got this. Did yours have the steps labeled out like this?
No.
This is quite a cool addition. So then, no brand colors. So I'm on step 3 now, the background graphics. This is where it'll get interesting. Okay, so I'm prompting. I want to showcase a series of YouTube thumbnails in 4 rows, showcasing a wide range of colorful thumbnails from different creators. I didn't claim to be a prompt engineer, but it should get the gist. Add in an overlay of CRT scan lines. Have the subject appear as is over the background. Okay, this is the moment of truth. Oh,
this is getting pretty close.
That is actually, that's not bad.
It's pretty good.
I can maybe punch in here. Like that's actually okay. So it's not got the. It does have the texture as well.
I love the fact that all the wording is complete nonsense.
It's not even ipsum lorem. It's like some kind of random language. But it did get the scan lines, although it looks a little bit papery. But you also put the scan lines over you as well, which is that does actually look quite good.
Yeah.
So I think really it comes down to the detail of the prompt and how specific you are. That would be usable.
Okay. Like the last time, as we were going through like the first test scenario, then we saw that it was pretty good at getting to this point where you have change in expression or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the background. And now you're onto the text section, right? So
Okay, so for the overlay text, I'm going to be a bit more specific here. Yeah, put in over the center bottom of the image, have the text 7 years later in bold, modern typeface. Have the text in white with a slightly diffused drop shadow. Let's see if we can do it. This will either be good or it's going to mess everything up. There's no text. Okay.
Failed to generate image.
Can I just try it once more? See if it... Okay, so the tool doesn't seem to be providing me with text, but...
Do you think this is something that you could use by pulling it over to Photoshop and then just adding overlay text, or do you think there's too much?
I mean, I can do that. I can do that right now, right? I mean, is there a way I can download it?
Yeah, only at the end, I'm afraid.
Okay, I feel there's a flaw in the design there.
I mean, it'd be easy to have another button.
I can just copy the image though, so I can go in from here into Photoshop, paste it in. Oh, there we go. So then I've got the image in Photoshop here now, and I could add in some text in true Humble&Brag. That would be usable, you know? I mean, obviously, if you're looking at the details here, it's not only made this thumbnail, but it's also made a whole bunch of random thumbnails in the background. So, like, obviously the text is utter nonsense, but I was just looking for some weird stuff here.
Scones.
You even got this kind of scanline effect.
Okay, this is how far I've got. So, from the agency building thumbnail, I have this one.
That's actually pretty good.
So I had to describe the graph in a fair bit of detail, that it's this kind of translucent line with a green shaded area underneath. Now I need agency building. Yeah, so hopefully now it's adding the text. Okay, agency building. I should have done it in capital letters, but it's fairly close.
It's not dissimilar.
Okay, that didn't work. And then the final review, so I think in order to bring it a little bit closer, do you have any kind of name for this square effect?
It's like a grid overlay or grid underlay, I guess.
So add a slightly opaque grid overlay like you find in notebooks for diagramming to everything behind the subject.
Ooh, that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
I mean, I think it's added it to everything in the end.
And you can see the side here, there's obviously more of the thumbnail than the graph is covering. It's not bad though. I mean, it feels like the image is a bit more blotchy than previously.
Could you recommend you just Google for upscalers?
Yeah, I mean, you can, I think, AI upscaler, image upscaler.
Not much better, a little bit better.
Your eyes have got like a weird kind of glaze to them. Like
yeah, this one as well is just a bit blotchy.
But it's not bad. The grid, I think the grid pattern and the green kind of lighting effect is done really well. It's got this kind of nice glow effect as well. I mean, to be honest, I think it's also, it depends on the user here. Like, we do a lot of thumbnails in Photoshop because I've been doing it for years. But if you're just starting out and this is probably better than some of the stuff you could do in Canva, you know?
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're doing.
I mean, in terms of the time that it takes you and the result, like, I think the one that you generated, most people are going to be capable of adding the overlay text in Canva or whatever it might be. But creating the image itself, definitely going to save a lot of time.
Yeah.
So we have a new product to sell.
Nice. And you package it up, deploy it, as they say.
So what do you think would be necessary to improve it?
If we could add much more detail to the prompting process, but not in a way that would overwhelm someone that's a casual designer, has no design background. So maybe asking questions like, do you want the image cut out, and will there be assets behind the subject or something along those lines?
Maybe like an optional stage at the beginning.
Yeah.
To add inspiration.
Having an ability to just drag and drop some thumbnails from YouTube in there, and then if the AI tool could then, off the back of those reference images, then make like a really detailed JSON breakdown, then I feel like the tool would just be able to speak to itself a lot better. I think the 5 steps are great, but maybe giving some examples like what position do you want the text on screen, like front, center, top, behind, that kind of thing.
Anything else?
I would then say the ability to just download at any point would be useful. Assuming that you don't want to make any further iterations, then you can just download it.
And then maybe for each step, as a default, generating like 5 different variations.
Yep.
So you can always choosing the best option.
They did that with the old tool. I mean, I say the old tools, the tools that were around 2 or 3 years ago. And it's like, people are making these AI aliens with like crazy lights in different universes and stuff. And then it would give you like 5 different variations, and you'd pick between, or 2 variations, you'd pick between one and the other. Something like that would be really useful here. Nice, but I think that would be everything I would add. I mean, it was obviously an iterative process, but it was pretty cool to see what it produced.
So then we're gonna upload one of those images, the one that you just made, and test it against this particularly.
It's so blotchy.
I mean, I did another one with an astronaut as well, because I feel like you kind of have to include astronauts.
Yeah.
So maybe we can test me against the astronaut against.
It's the floating furniture that really gets me. Like, where did that come from in your?
Like I said, it's like 1:30 in the morning, and I was thinking, I just want some elements. I was thinking of this. I'll tell you why. It's because it reminded me of Doctor Who.
Okay.
Doctor Who reminded me of the TARDIS, and the TARDIS reminded me of flying.
Furniture.
The whole thing, it looked a little bit like a black hole, basically, and everything
Okay.
was being kind of sucked into this black hole,
So this
including my
is
sanity.
this is the thumbnail we want to use for the video. I think go for it. I think if I saw that on YouTube, I'd want to know what went wrong in the process. But maybe it's just crazy enough to work.
Yeah. Cool.
Nice.
And that's pretty much it then. Thank you very much for watching. Hit subscribe, hit like, and yeah, we'll start updating the tool and probably make another video in a week's time or so with a version that works even better, believe it or not, than this one.
When we're millionaires.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.